What's up, YouTube? Working on a little project this afternoon, just trying to improve some durability aspects of my flip-flop design, and had one recently come back, and the I guess the webbing, the thong center, whatever you want to call it, had failed. It had broken on the end, and some of that could be due to conditions and where the flip-flop was worn and how it was taken care of or whatever. But regardless, I would like to design these to where they can handle a good deal of abuse. So I just thought I'd share. This is what they look like normally as I'm working on them. And here's a couple of ideas I've had that I thought I would try out that may not work out. I feel pretty confident one of these will work out. But my initial idea was to use some sort of a nylon backing just as a reinforcement. The idea was to, keep my aesthetic the same as it is now, but with some sort of increased durability. And I thought this would be overkill, which would be a nice solution. The nylon, this is from like a heavy-duty strap, and just to give me an idea of what it would be like to work with. And I think it would work in some applications. I don't think it's going to work for me in this application because I just think it's going to be tough to mold it and get it to lay like I need it to. But regardless, I'm going to finish it and see what I think about it. And then this should have came to me as an idea sooner, but it didn't. But it came to me today. Just using pigskin as an additional liner. I believe pigskin can handle moisture a little bit better than leather alone, and I think moisture is what ultimately led to the failure of the thong I got back. So we'll try it out, but I wanted to share. If you're at this point in the project making your own, it's just something to consider, and in the future maybe I'll have a revision to my video once I really nail down something that works really well. So just thought I would share while I'm working on it, and thanks for watching. So thought I'd give an update on how things turned out with the thong redesign. And first thing first, the nylon. Terrible idea. It's just way too thick. Could not get this thing to fold. I mean, I nearly sewed it, but it just looked terrible. So you skive the leather down very thinly, and maybe you have a chance of making that work. But I don't even know if it would be worth the effort with the amount of fray and just the difficulty in sewing. So that's out the window. The next thing I had going on was the pigskin liner, and it was very difficult to get it to sew tight. So I thought, well, maybe I just need to skive the leather down a little bit more. Try again. So I skived it quite a bit, and it was an improvement, but still a struggle. So ultimately what I've decided to do, this is my standard pattern for the thong layout, is make it wider. And that should give me enough slack to be able to close that seam up and give this a nice finish. I'm also considering changing the direction of where the stitch line will be. Usually it's concealed under the thong like this, but I'm thinking I might turn it around. I've had people point this out anyway as maybe an improved comfort option. So I'm considering doing that, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys an update. I think this little difference in size will be all the difference. And this is a 1 inch by 3.5, I believe. Yes, by 3.5. So the length dimension hasn't changed at all, and the spacing of the different sections hasn't changed. I just basically added 1/8 of an inch just to give me some more material to work with, because it's just such a difficult thing to get this to tighten up. There's just not much leather, and you can only fold it so tightly. But I think I might could have managed with maybe some different techniques, really beat that thing down, maybe with a mallet or something. I don't know, break it down a little bit more, but it isn't worth the time. It took me a good amount of time just to sew it this well, and that's with 2 passes of sewing. So anyway, just some different thoughts, and curious to see what you guys think, and we'll see how this goes from here. I'm going to try to get this done today, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. You'll have to excuse the cement that I've already put on this, but here's the finished product that I'm going with on this pair. I'm putting the seam forward, which is a first, and hopefully that works out. I've got the pigskin liner on the back side. It'll show on the sides, which is a little different, but it'll get the job done. And this doesn't have to be the final design. I can always just kind of change it in the future if I want to. That's the cool thing about, you know, tweaking your work as you go. But I think this is going to feel a lot better between the toes. The pigskin's really smooth. There's no grain feeling to it, and you know, the round corner will be against the skin. So I think it's a win all around. So I don't think it's going to change the aesthetic much at all, because it's nearly seamless. So anyway, just thought I'd show you guys the final product, and I'm going to get these installed today, hopefully finished up, and post a video of the finished product, and we'll see where it goes. Well, it turns out this was too wide with the 1-inch dimension, so had to go back to 3/4 inch, which means ultimately that the 1-inch width here was the solution, and that's pretty much the only change. So in the future, this will be a little bit wider. It gives me a little bit more slack to sew having the pigskin liner on it, because it makes it so much tougher that it's hard to really clamp down like I would when it was alone without the liner. So anyway, that's a perfectly acceptable change, and that's what it's gonna be like in the future. There's a little look at it. Not that different, but it is something, and I think it's going to be a lot stronger. I'm curious to see how these turn out when they get some wear, but getting closer, and hopefully in the next day or so they'll be finished. So here's the finished product, and you know, I'm pretty happy with how they look. It doesn't really change the overall aesthetic as much as I thought it would, so pretty happy. And I also I just think functionally that the pigskin liner is going to feel a lot better between the toes, and overall I feel like it's going to be at least twice as durable, if not more so. So only time will tell, and if I have to, you know, further update them, I will, but this is the latest and greatest. I upgraded the soles to the Vibram rubber, which is a bit thicker, and I think they're more comfortable, less slip resistant. Here's the original crepe rubber, just a single layer, which in the future I might want to double up or triple up on, if I even use crepe at all. So anyway, gotta do the wax and stuff on these, and then they'll be out the door. And thanks for watching.